hustling. There's a lot of debate about what is hustling, what isn't hustling, is hustling bad? Because the word brings up so many negative connotations that it's pathetic. Let's break down hustling. Hustling is taking advantage of opportunity. That is the core tenet of hustling. We're going to peel back a few layers and take it a little deeper. I'm going to give you some of the principles of hustling that helped me. The first principle that really helped me, and it was something that I was taught as a child, is to seek out opportunity. That's one of the first pillars of hustling, to seek out an opportunity. Now, when you see a way to make money or to gain influence, and you take advantage of it, you're hustling. But the thing is, there's different levels of hustling. The first level is hustling out of need. You're broke, you need money. That is a strong motivator. If you can do what I call being a crackhead without the high, because crackheads, people who are addicted to drugs, can make amazing sums of money because they're chasing that high. They're not making the money to make money. They're making the money to get that crackhead high. If you can induce yourself to come up with that type of motivation, you can yield the same results without the addiction and the high. Now, with seeking opportunity, if you are coming from a situation of, I'm broke, that's not the best way to move forward, because once you're no longer broke, your motivation is gone. You have to have a different level of orientation on how you seek out opportunity. And we'll discuss that a little later. But seeking opportunity, benchmark level of hustling. So in your mind, if you're out hustling and you're seeking opportunity, always keep in your mind the factor of 3. Whatever you're doing, times it times 3 at a minimum. Because that's going to crank up your hustling. Because even if you're broke, and let's say you're reaching a budgetary deficit of $500 or $700 a month, that's where you're running a problem. You're coming up short. You have to borrow money from friends. To really crank up your hustling, because see, you're coming from a position of need and lack. All right, I need $700. On your goal sheet, you put down $2,100. You put $1,500, $2,100. Because if you come from a position of lack and need or being broke, you're only going to do what you need to do to solve that problem, since that is the motivation for your hustling. So that is not even like, you're induced to seek out opportunity because you're broke. You're not induced to seek out opportunity for the sake of seeking an opportunity. If you do the second thing, you'll be much more successful long term. Now, with seeking opportunity, first level, let's just say broke. I'm broke. I need a job. I need a place to stay. This is what motivates you. Now, when you move to the second phase, which is everything is taken care of. You're paying your bills. You eat every day. You have clothing. You're driving a serviceable vehicle. You've reached that level. Often, at that point, many people stall out. They just stop. And they kind of get into this rut because they're comfortable. The third level of seeking opportunity is you're comfortable, all the bills are paid, everything is lovely, except you have tapped into that inner core desire of, I can do better. You start playing the game to play the game. You start seeing what you can actually do with little regard to money, exposure, or fame. Those are not your motivators. Your motivator is totally 100% internal. People climb mountains not to sweat, not to exercise, to actually see if they can make it up to the top because it's hard. That's an internal drive because it's cold. You have to have Sherpas, and you go to base camp level 1, base camp level 2. You have to acclimate to the oxygen. It's a big, big challenge. And once you do it, you feel so much better about yourself. So you want to move from level 1 of seeking opportunity, level 2 of seeking opportunity, to level 3. Seeking opportunity for the game of it, for the fun of it, for the personal satisfaction. When you're operating on that level, whatever else is going on in the world doesn't really impact you because your motivation is internal. If your motivation is external, you have a problem when conditions change, and conditions will always change. Sometimes conditions will change in your favor. Other times, conditions will kick you in the ass. That is life. But if you're internally oriented with your seeking an opportunity, you're going to be in a much better situation. The next pillar of opportunity is creating opportunity. This is something that usually comes after you've hit the third level. You start thinking of, what can I build? What can I make? What can I create for my fellow man that will provide me an emotional high? Understand, none of us do anything strictly for money. We do what we do for the benefits that come with having money, because money gives us options. You're working for options, control, and freedom. That's what you're working for. You're not working for $100. You're not working for $200. The money is representation of what kind of options you have. The option of where are you going to live? The option of will your kids go to public school or will your kids go to private school? The option of you have nice furniture or you have ratty ass furniture. It's all about options and choice and control. That's why you frequently see wealthy, older men with hot, inviting, attractive women. That money gives them the option. Sometimes it is purely a financial transaction. Other times those two really love each other. But you never know. You can only be from the outside looking in. But that's the kind of options creating something or contributing to society on a level large enough to give you tremendous disposable income. It gives you tremendous options. For some people, that's a good thing. For other people, that's a bad thing because they don't have the proper decision-making process to handle all that disposable income. But with creating opportunity, you open yourself up to more benefits of the universe. You open yourself up to more benefits for your life, because when you create opportunity, you frequently create opportunity for other people. And you can leverage the time, the attention, and the money of other people into even greater opportunities, greater choice, and greater control for yourself. This is a great place to be. And this is something that we're going to talk about in my new channel, The Disruptive Ninja. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. There will be a lot of free content. There will be special ninja content here in the Hustler Mindset Project. But with creating opportunity, it stretches you. It's also scary. But a hustler, and I will give you an example, and I didn't really realize what I was doing because I was level 2, level 3 from seeking opportunity. I was selling commercial office furniture. I had a pretty good job. I made decent money. And our company had certain principles, parameters in place about who we would sell to, who was our targeted customer. And I was totally frustrated because I was new, and the people that I could sell to were actually the people that my company did not want to do business with. And I struggled with it. But at that point, I had not 100% fully developed the hustler mindset. Then one day, there was opportunity. I wasn't seeking opportunity. I was seeking opportunity, which led to me creating opportunity. I was trying to sell Nancy 4 floors of office furniture. The company was in the process of relocating, and they had paid money for the furniture. There was some issues. There was someone that made a decision that before they bought new furniture, they needed to at least reduce the outlay of capital on new furniture by selling what they had. So her direct report gave her the licenses, like, if you can sell this stuff, we'll get new furniture. If you cannot sell this stuff, we're going to take it with us, and we're just going to make it fit and buy what we need when we move. The people at the location weren't really happy. They hated the furniture. It wasn't ergonomic. They really wanted the newer stuff. And so I'm telling Nancy this, and Nancy's in a day where she's very, very frustrated, and she just tells me things that she normally would have not told me. And since we just had pretty much a business relationship, and she let some personal stuff out, and she was just like, if you could sell this stuff. So I knew what my boss would say in the situation. He would want no part of it because it was low. It wasn't enough profit in it for him and me. So I seized the opportunity, and that's kind of becoming to the next pillar of becoming opportunity. Just on the just a cuff, spur of the moment decision, I said I would sell it. Within a week, I had created an LLC and had a contract with this company and her boss. He had wrote it up. We had signed off on it. He signed it. I signed it. I was protected. He was protected. And I made a ton of money from creating that opportunity. And I was in direct violation of ethics with the guy I worked for. I was 100% commission. And that's how I chose to rationalize it, because I didn't make any money unless I sold something. And this opportunity, I was selling more than I'd ever sold before. I was making more money than I was ever making before. And it just completely and utterly opened up the hustler mindset. At that point, there was no going back, because I had gone through, I call this the art of hustling, these principles of seeking opportunity, creating opportunity, and becoming opportunity. When you become opportunity, every opportunity starts to find you. That's when you become opportunity. It finds you. Things fall in your lap because you've broken down mental barriers to you moving forward. Let's not put the qualifiers of being successful or unsuccessful. That's not what this is about. This is about actually seeing opportunity as it is versus what you want it to be. Many times there's opportunity in front of us, but because it is not dressed in the right outfit, we ignore it, or we see there's potential, but because it's not 100% of what we wanted, we let it pass us by. So in the art of hustling, another pillar is moving past comfort. When you dwell in comfort, when you dwell in just how you feel, when you're led by your emotions, good or bad, frequently, and that's not to say sometimes being led by emotion is a good thing, but there's other times it's totally debilitating. When you move past comfort and put yourself in a position to grow, you will grow. I was nervous going to the office because there was a certain level of duality here and duplicity, because Ken was like, so how are things going? I was like, they're going great. I'm selling stuff. And he's like, I haven't seen anything cross my desk. Oh, it's coming. I was doing about $10,000-15,000 a month selling their stuff for 4 months. And I was doing the bare minimum to keep my job because I knew that this project was going to only go on for a short period of time. And then I sold them the furniture, which I did bring in-house to that business versus doing it myself. But looking back, because I was like fully, I had gone to become an opportunity in each level, whether it's seeking opportunity or creating opportunity or becoming opportunity, there are growth points in certain layers of each level. Because hindsight is a mofo. Because I had the capital that I could have did the whole furniture deal myself, sold it to them for a less cost, and made more money because I wouldn't have been splitting it. And shortly after that deal, I did part ways with the company because once I learned the power of becoming opportunity and doing my own thing, it was just real hard for me to split that deal when I was finding the customer, selling the furniture, going to the showrooms, doing all of this stuff. And he had access to certain things, but once I realized what opportunity meant, because I went to one of the vendors and I just told him, he knew me from working for the company. I said, look, I have my own company now and I have a customer that wants X, Y, and Z. And this is what he said. He said, well, the first order, you got to pay for it. I'll cut you a little slack. And then I learned some more that the guy I was working for wasn't being honest, because I was prepared to pay 15 grand for the furniture. And with him cutting me slack, I only paid 8. And I was like, holy moly. So when you do this and become opportunity and you stop being afraid to move forward, sometimes bad things happen. Sometimes you get information that you would want to consider adverse or bad. But nevertheless, you get an experience that will help you grow. Because at that point, it was just more money. And I started growing and got to the point where I was like $100,000 of debt in every month because everyone was giving me terms. I was paying the bills, but I didn't like the treadmill of, wow, here's the bank account. There's $400,000. Oh, and none of it's mine. None of it's mine. That was just really, really irritating because I was selling on price and I was selling at a low margin, and I wasn't selling on service because I needed to keep deals. Because I had this deal, but I had this debt, and I had to pay this debt in net 30 or net 60 or net 90. So I had to make this deal happen to pay for this deal. And then when I got paid for that deal, then I was good. But it was always this, until I had a full pipeline where I had with positive cash flow every month, it was nerve-wracking. And it went well, but I didn't like the whole cycle of boom, bust, famine. I didn't like it. It was great money for the year, because at the end of the year, you look at it, it was like awesome. But as it was coming in and it was going out, it was just nerve-wracking. So that is what gave me the perspective of moving forward and evolving, because another part of hustling is your hustle will evolve. It has to. Your hustle cannot remain static. Your hustle that you were doing in 2001 will totally be ineffective in 2013. The hustle you were doing in 2011 may not be as effective as the hustle of 2013. That's how things are moving and changing. So, the art of hustling is about change, embracing change, moving past comfort points, and continuing to hustle. Another part of hustling, a really, really core tenet, is you understand that it's not personal. I know it sounds strange because we as humans, carbon-based life forms, we tend to get very pissed off when something is done that we deem as an injustice, when there have been no emotional component attached to it. It was just purely an opportunity move, and it's very hard to deal with. That is something I struggled with, and that is something I still struggle with. Give you an example. By taking the opportunity of doing a YouTube channel and also being myself, saying the things that I say, I bring a lot of censure on myself. I didn't like it in the beginning. I am not a huge fan of it now. But by evolving my hustle and exposing myself to that, I became much stronger internally. It really takes a lot for a person to say something to knock me off my compass now. When I first started, it didn't take much. It was like, oh, Lord, no. So as your hustle evolves, you evolve and you become smarter. Another part of the art of hustling is game theory. You start playing games with yourself. Because, many people it's fun to play games with other people, but it's even more fun to play games with yourself, because then this goes back to becoming an opportunity. You have this closed loop of activity that is not externally driven. When you can get past external motivations, external slights, external angst, and really, really control your own sandbox, so to speak, you will see some amazing results in your life, because emotional friction actually runs opportunity, relationships, love, and money out of your pockets. It totally runs everything. I'll give you an example. I am a real passionate person, and at times I've had to learn how to measure that, because, especially in the realm of dating, I'm very passionate, and for a lot of people who are not that way, it's just way too much. So in terms of dating and in business, I've learned to read body language, because the deal is with evolving your hustle, because the thing is, hustling is not just purely business. It becomes part of your spirit. It becomes part of your emotional makeup. It becomes part of your life. To this day, I cannot walk into a Macy's or a Nordstrom's or any of those places and drop $120, $130, $140 for one shirt when I can go on eBay and get one slightly used for $20 to $30. The same exact shirt. I just can't do it, because the hustling has hit my DNA to the point that I have a visceral reaction when I go to the mall. I really do not do a lot of shopping in malls. I'll go there for certain things where the price point is not that remarkable between online and off. I'll get things like that. But if I know I can get what I'm looking at for a deal, I will get that deal. And that's just part of the evolution. I was a person that when I saw it, I had to have immediate gratification and I would buy stuff. But as you evolve your hustle, you will evolve your whole personality. And going back to the body language, part of being a hustler is being true to yourself, being true to your principles, having your own code of ethics, because my code of ethics may not really work for someone else. That's what I call my code of ethics. So you need to develop your own code of ethics. So part of hustling is not just getting stuff, it's also becoming stuff. And it's like, okay, here I am, I'm this really passionate person. How can I work it out where I can be me, but not rub people the wrong way that don't understand? So as a part of my journey as an emotional hustler, as a financial hustler, as a spiritual hustler, I learned to read body language very, very well. So that one little nuance, learning body language, there are books, there's YouTube videos, there's all kind of things, because some of it's so imperceptible, some of it's so subtle. And I'll give you a big one. If you see a couple and they're in the booth, and if she's leaning and maybe her rear is kind of close to him, but there is a distinct line that she's leaning away from him, she doesn't like him. She may smile, she may be pleasant, and she may even in her mind wonder why she doesn't like this dude, but she does not like him. Same thing with a dude. When you just mark my words, go to your Facebook page and start looking at people who are in group photos and look at the body language. You'll see gaps, you'll see people, they're physically moving away from that person because they don't want to be there for some reason. And when you start picking up on these little clues, then you figure out who you can really let out who you are, and it won't offend them. Because I can't give you this whole body language course. It's something I still study. But there are certain clues, such as the way they look at you with their eyes, or they give you what I call the dog smile. You know how a dog will bare its teeth? Like if someone's smiling at you and you see their teeth and it looks, and it's just a little difference between a real smile and a fake smile, but you'll notice that their eyes are not in it and their cheeks are not in it. They're just smiling. It's that dog fake smile. That's another thing you pick up. So if I tell a off color, or I tell a joke that's totally inappropriate, and I get the dog smile, I pull back. I totally pull back because they are not into what I'm telling them. So understand, because I push forward from that and then run from it and accepted myself the way I was, I learned how to connect with people who will receive me very well. And as you work on this and you keep pushing forward, you'll start drawing people into your life that are very, very appropriate for you. Sometimes they'll stay for a minute, sometimes they'll stay forever. But you'll stop getting that, why is this crazy person in my life? Why? It goes away. It just totally goes away. Because another art of hustling is working on yourself. Because as you work on yourself, your hustle gets better. You can see the hustle. You could just connect dots in the air. It's like, okay, this is how I'm going to do this. This is how and it works. And it just totally works. But it's a journey. And it all starts with seeking opportunity, creating opportunity, becoming opportunity, and moving past your comfort zones. Because comfort zones are comfort, you call that comfort because they're cozy and they feel so good and it's all wonderful, but you will not grow in your comfort zone. You will grow in the hot zone. You will grow in the pain zone. And this is another very important tenet of the art of hustling. You have to learn that all pain is not bad. The most benign way that I can give you this concept is when you go to the gym, you're lifting weights, lactic acid builds up, your muscles are burning, and you just screaming, and it's pain and it's hurt because your muscles going through actual trauma. You're tearing down muscle tissue. It's actually going through a disruption. But that pain signifies that you've actually done enough damage to prepare your body for growth. There are other situations that the same thing happens and it hurts and it's just painful and you want it to stop, but you need to push forward, because once the pain subsides, you're going to prepare yourself for growth. Another example of this is reading. We live in a culture where people do not want to read. It's like if you take a book and you put it in front of someone, they would slap it and it's like, God, I'm a vampire and that's a cross of silver, right? They treat it like that, and I don't know what's going on with that. I don't understand, but people are actually proud that they don't read, and they're proud that they don't absorb knowledge. Well, I'm dyslexic. I have a speech impediment. Sometimes people know, most often than not they don't, because I went through the pain of learning how to speak correctly, and I went through the pain of reading thousands of books. Because even now, if I take too long off, I could probably go a month and still be good. But I know when I get away from reading and absorbing information, then when I go back to it, it's a struggle. I forget how to say certain words. I forget how to spell simple words like cat or dog. It happens. I am no longer ashamed to say that because it used to freak me the hell out. But going through that pain, I now make a living from speaking and writing. Just to give you a concept of how it hurts. It can be a problem. It can be daunting at times. But if you stick with it, you will have success. I can't say what type of success, but I can say you will have a ton of success, because the simple fact of moving forward and learning how to embrace pain, and this isn't a masochist moment, okay? I'm not a sadist. It's more of, let's say, discomfort. Learning to endure discomfort for a prolonged period of time to grow yourself as a person. When you learn that concept and you look for it, seeking opportunity, you will grow. You can force yourself to grow in a year more than some people will grow in a decade, because simply put, many people don't grow. They don't seek opportunities to grow. They're not looking to grow. They're not looking to do anything. So this is the first session of Drive. And in Drive, We're going to talk about the tactical, the theory, and principles of hustling more so than go to Goodwill, buy X item, and put it on eBay. Because as Drive goes on, and it's going to dovetail very nicely with the Disruptive Ninja, we're going to talk about you actually creating your life, creating your income, creating your relationships. Because once you learn these principles, they're transmittable to so many different areas of your life. And that is the sign of a true hustler. Because when you hustle life on your terms and the dividends are what you want, you can't help but be happy. You can't help but have wonderful Mondays, and the people are going, thank God it's Friday because it's Saturday. You may find yourself a little lonely until you get some friends who are living like you are, because that is one of the downsides, because most of my friends can only talk, after work hours or on the weekends. And don't live that type of life where I'm only available on the weekends. Other than if I'm doing a video or a phone consult, or I have to be an appointment, if I'm inclined, I can pick up the phone and talk, or I can go out and meet somebody. That's a wonderful thing to have, and you can have it too. Just digging into the mind of your experiences, your neighborhood. There's something there for you, but you've got to go through these steps. You got to learn to seek opportunity. And before all that, you got to recognize opportunity. And just to give you a simple definition, it is something that you can do that will put more whatever in your life, whether it's love, whether it's resources, time, money, whatever. It will put more of that in your life by seizing that opportunity. Right, this is Glendon, and I will see you on the good side.